Hello everyone, Gaara here and welcome to a brand new deck tech video. Today I'm gonna talk about Jade N'zoth Shaman, a deck where I had a ton of fun playing today, and without further ado, let's get right into it. So as you guys can see, here's the deck list. I decided to play one Lightning Bolt, double Mistress of Mixtures, Devolve, Doomsayer and J-Claws, and two Maelstroms as the anti-aggro package. The reason for that is that I actually started to face way more aggressive decks than yesterday. I faced a lot of aggro druids today, occasionally some token shamans, even Murloc paladins and pirate warriors. So more aggro. I needed to adjust and play more anti-aggro. When I started playing, I lost many games to just random aggressive decks, and so I had to just play more anti-aggro. From previous playtesting, I really figured that one Doomsayer, one Lightning Bolt is a really nice sweet spot, because if you play a lot of aggro druids and Murloc paladins, you need to have at least one removal for the fledgling or the war leaders when they're hiding behind taunts. So the Lightning Bolt is really good for that. Oftentimes the Jade Lightning is just too slow for this. And the one Doomsayer is just really nice on turn 2 versus any aggro deck. If you have the Doomsayer turn 2 going first, usually just to win the game, and if you just have a turn 3 play afterwards. But this really slows down the matchups. If you go further, double Hex, pretty core. There's still like a lot of control decks. It's just that I'm facing more aggro decks overall. Jade Druid is very popular right now. I face around 50 to 58% druids on the ladder, and most of them are control, but a lot of them are aggro now, just probably to counter each other. Double Mana Tide, just the strongest draw engine. I really like to have a lot of draw if I play N'zoth Shaman, and Mana Tide really helps with that, and the opponent is usually always forced to just remove it, else you snowball. Infested Tauren is a card I'm really hyped for. I was playing the Stonehill Defenders for a long time, and you know, I have a lot of conversations with my lovely Twitch chat, and I was like suggesting someone who didn't have Cairn to just play Infested Taurens. I think he actually had no white eyes. It's very important to have a defensive option or a defensive resummon when you play N'zoth, else N'zoth is just so difficult to get out, and Infested Tauren is like the best thing you can have, right? Oftentimes the white eyes is not enough, or you just didn't draw the white eyes. Cairn, Aya, white eyes is just very slow, so oftentimes you can't even get your N'zoth out. But with the Mistress of Mixtures and Infested Tauren, oftentimes I just play N'zoth when two Mistresses and two Infested died. It's just still a very solid play, and yeah, I really like it. Just a lot of Death Rattle minions in this deck, but on top of it we have a lot of the Jades. The only Jade that is missing is another Jade Chieftain, so very powerful. I really like the Infested Taurens over the Stonehill Defenders. Jade Lightning, Jade Spirit, just more greed, and it's still pretty good versus aggro, I would say. As you can see, I have a lot of anti-aggressive cards. The card that I decided to not run is Lightning Storm, because I don't think it is a good card. The only matchup where it would be good, aggro druid and maybe token shaman, but the overload really hurts in a slow deck like this, so I really don't like to play the card. I really prefer to go for a more early curve with the Mistresses of Mixtures and the Doomsayer, and double Devolve, and then have the Volcano as a effective board clear. So White Eyes, Aya and Cairn is like the N'zoth Death Rattle package, and Skulking Geist I feel like it's really necessary, because Jade Druid seems to be the most popular control deck, and it's extremely powerful. And the second most popular control deck is Anduin Priest, Highlander, and just normal control Anduin Priest, and against that the Skulking Geist is also good, as I talked about in the previous video, because it is a 4/6 minion, which is powerful versus Priest, and you still like kill quite a lot of minions. Jade Chieftain, just more greed. I really like to have at least one 7-drop when you're curving out to N'zoth, and it is a Jade deck slash N'zoth deck, so it's just fitting to play the Jade Chieftain. But besides that, it is very good for the Thrall Deathseer because of the evolve. It's very good to evolve the main body and the second body usually. Lich King is just a super powerful card. It won me so many games, and it has taunt. A greedy card that is good versus aggro, good versus control, and has to be answered. It's very difficult to answer all the threats of Jade Shaman. And the finishing card, obviously the N'zoth. The card I haven't talked about is the Thrall. A lot of people ask me, is this just a gimmicky card? I think Thrall is very powerful. It has great synergy with just any token on the board. Because of the battle cry, you get a double evolve. You can trade your board in. If you, let's say, have a weak minion with a Jade minion with 5 attack and 1 health, and then you double evolve it, you suddenly have a 7-drop. That's super powerful. And I had games where I just high rolled into Tyrion, high rolled into other Death Rattle minions. And this is just, if you evolve into more Death Rattle minions, or you battle cry into, it's so powerful. And the heal. 5 armor doesn't sound like a lot, but you take all the heal you can get. That is actually good. As you can see, I'm not playing Yinshu. I really don't like the card. I'm playing the Mistresses of Mixtures instead, and I really like it because the deck is so greedy, and I really like to resummon the Mistresses of Mixtures with the N'zoth. They have also great synergy with the Jade Claws and the Maelstrom Portal, so not too bad. I really like them, and they heal me, also good in the late game, and they're flexible. Yinshu is just so clunky, and you have so many expensive cards that it's so hard to get them out, and the overload really annoys me. So with this list I had quite good success. In the last 20 games or so I sticked to this list, and I didn't really want to change a card. I will show you guys in a second like my tracker board of the last 15 games. Yeah, the Thrall is pretty good. I really like it. And another thing is that you really don't need the regular Shaman hero power, because we don't run Thing from Below. Echo is also not needed because a lot of people ask. Burn Mage is not popular at all on the ladder, and against that it was important to just echo the Yinshus. Taunt Warrior is also something I face rarely, but you shouldn't struggle against Taunt Warrior too much anyways. But the cool thing with Thrall is, yeah, it just wins you games. I play against Jade Druid, I have a bunch of tokens on board. With the battle cry you just get a super powerful board, and the hero power, the evolved hero power, is really strong. It's very strong when you trade a big minion into an opponent's minion and then evolve it afterwards. You don't just heal it for free, but you get also a stronger minion potentially. It's just very good when you don't need a regular hero power. So overall I think this card fits very well in token shamans, but also in control shaman. And yeah, that's the list. That was the final list, and now I'm gonna show you my last tracker bots results. So first I want to show you my stats of today. As you guys can see, today I only played Shaman, nothing else, and I just tried to make Death Rattle Shaman work. I started off on a really bad note. I was losing most of my games. I tested a lot of cards like the Burlock. I started to play Curator with Arthas, and I lost many games, so I changed my deck list completely, and in the end I was playing the deck list that I showed you in this video, and as you guys can see I actually went from around 30% win rate to above 50% even. So yeah, this is a little bit misleading, but just so you see very quickly what my total win rate was. Yeah, I mean, you can just see all these stats for yourself. And let me show you also my tracker bot. This is interesting because I played in the end of the day for the last few hours the version you can see here, and from the last 15 games I lost 4, so this is like 11 and 4 in the end, so I'm quite happy with that. As you can see, I lost to a Paladin, which was a Murloc Paladin, even though it doesn't say Murloc Paladin, because he played Pirates and like he played Bone Mare, and probably the tracker doesn't recognize this as a Murloc Paladin. It still had Murlocs in it, so interesting. I lost to a Jade Druid. Just Jade Druid can be crazy. I didn't draw the Skulking Geist or N'zoth, and I lost to another Jade Druid, as you can see. I think that I added the Skulking Geist as the last card that I added in this list in the last 6 games or so, because I still lost to Jade Druid too much. Even though my deck was so greedy, I still lost this matchup. And I lost to a Pirate Warrior. Yeah, I drew very greedy cards, and like N'zoth starting hand, you know how it goes, and he just goes first and snowballs with the N'zoth's first mate. And I lost to a Face Hunter who went for a 30% play, and with I played the Doomsayer, he went for a Crackling Razor Maw into 30% poisonous play, and if he doesn't get it he loses. So but he got it, so I didn't feel too bad about this loss. But as you can see, I'm winning like most of the last game, so the deck was quite good, and I think it has quite a lot of potential. I'm very happy with the last version of it. Overall, I would rate the archetype in the deck around tier 2.5, at least for now. I think it has potential to be a tier 2 deck. And before Knights of the Frozen Throne, I rated it tier 3. The biggest boost that you got was definitely the Thrall. It is multiple things that is very good for the archetype. First of all, you get an additional healing card. You get a much better hero power for the archetype, and it can just win you games out of nowhere. If you have just weaker minions on board, and you can absolutely not underestimate the battle cry effect of Thrall. I think it's very powerful, comes out of nowhere, and the hero power is very strong. It's like another mid-game win condition. And because of the Lich King and Thrall, we don't really need to run Echo Spirits because we have an insane amount of additional greed. And Spirit Echoes is a very bad card versus aggressive decks. And Thrall is like healing, and the Lich King is also a very defensive card. Lich King can also provide you Death Knight cards that just win you the game, like extremely powerful cards. So I would say because of the Lich King, the Skulking Geist, Jade Druid was another very bad matchup before. You have a tech card again for this matchup now. You can build this deck a little bit more anti-aggro. So because there's less burn mages on the ladder, which was a bad matchup, you have a tech card in form of Skulking Geist versus Jade Druid, which was another bad matchup, and you can add more greed without adding Echo Spirits in form of Thrall and the Lich King, and you get more heal in form of the Thrall. This is why I would give this deck a tier boost from 3 to 2.5 and potentially tier 2, but I have to play it a little bit more. And that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed today's deck tech video. Let me know in the comments what you want to see next. I'll be streaming if you want to see also gameplay of the decks. I'm streaming every day from around 12 PM CET till 6 PM CET. Yeah, if you want to see some gameplay footage, check that out. Thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned for tomorrow where I try to build another